In a quiet Liberian town, 22-year-old Mofi, a humble and hardworking young man, met 19-year-old Lupita, a cheerful and smart girl from a wealthy family. Despite their different backgrounds, they became close, spending time together and bonding under a mango tree after school. Lupita lived in a wealthy home with her father, a businessman, and her mother, a nurse. Despite their riches, she never looked down on Mofi and loved him for his kindness and respect for others. Mofi and Lupita soon fell deeply in love and dreamed of a future together. They wanted to become a teacher and a nurse, helping others in their community. But things changed when Lupita became pregnant. Scared but determined, she found comfort in Mofi's promise to stand by her and care for their growing family. Months passed, and the day came when Lupita gave birth to twin baby girls. They were small and beautiful, with Lupita's eyes and Mofi's smile. But something very sad happened that night. Lupita disappeared without saying a word. She didn't leave a note, she just vanished. Mofi woke up to find that she was gone. He searched everywhere, asking everyone if they had seen her, but no one knew where she had gone. Heartbroken, Mofi sat down on the floor, holding his two newborn daughters in his arms, tears running down his cheeks. He didn't understand why Lupita left, but he promised himself and his babies that he would raise them, protect them, and be both their father and mother. From that day on, Mofi worked tirelessly. He carried the babies on his back to the market, sold fruits, washed clothes for people, and did whatever he could to make money. He never gave up. He fed them, cleaned them, and sang them to sleep. Life was hard, but his love for his daughters was unshakable. Even though the pain of losing Lupita never left his heart, watching his daughters grow gave him strength. Mofi lived with his parents in a small, old house. His father, Papa Joe, worked for NEPA, the power company, but his job was far away from the city. He only came home occasionally, bringing money that helped them buy food and milk for the babies. Since Lupita had run away, Mofi's twin daughters, Kumba and Fatu, did not get breast milk from her. Instead, they drank powdered milk that Mofi bought from a small grocery shop nearby. Sometimes, though, there was no money for milk. On those days when Papa Joe hadn't come home yet, and there was no money, the babies would cry a lot, hungry and tired. Their cries filled the small room, and Mofi's heart broke seeing them suffer. Mofi's mother, Mama Saya, was a kind woman who loved the twins deeply. Though weak and tired, she tried to help. When the babies cried from hunger and there was no milk left, she would sit on the floor with them in her lap, sometimes pressing her old breasts, hoping that even a little milk would come out. Most times, nothing came, but she still tried. She wanted to comfort them in any way she could, holding them close, rocking them gently while tears fell from her eyes. "Your mother left you," she would whisper, "but we are still here for you. We will not leave you. We will love you always." Mofi watched from the doorway, tears in his own eyes. It wasn't the life he had imagined for his children, but he was thankful for his parents' support. Together, they struggled, prayed, and gave all their love to the little girls who had been left behind. After 8 hard and painful months, Lupita returned. She came back without warning. One afternoon, while Mofi was washing the baby's clothes outside, he looked up and saw her standing near the gate. She was wearing fine clothes and looked well-fed and clean, not like someone who had just given birth and left her babies behind. Mofi stood still for a moment before slowly walking toward her with one of the babies tied to his back. Lupita looked at the babies and said, "I want to take them with me." Mofi's heart started beating faster. Holding the second baby in his arms, he said, "No, Lupita, you left them. You didn't even say goodbye." Lupita lowered her head and said, "Okay, just give me one of them. Let me take the younger twin. You can keep the other." Mofi shook his head, tears in his eyes. "They are twins. They came into this world together. They cry together. They sleep side by side. You can't divide them like bread. Please, Lupita, if you really care, come back home and help me raise them." But Lupita refused. She turned her face away and said, "I can't do that." Still hoping, Mofi decided to visit her family house the next day to beg one more time. He believed that if he showed her family how much he loved the babies, they might talk to her. When he arrived at her house, he knocked at the gate and asked to speak with Lupita. Instead, her brother came out, looking angry. Mofi tried to explain, but before he could finish, Lupita's brother picked up a full bucket of water and poured it over him. Soaked, with his shirt clinging to his body, Mofi stood there, shocked. Then the brother shouted, "Get out of here, poor boy. Don't ever come back." As Mofi turned to leave, he saw Lupita standing at the gate. Their eyes met, and for a moment he thought she would say something, but her face was cold and hard. She looked him in the eye and said, "I can't suffer with you." With his heart breaking, Mofi walked home slowly, water dripping from his clothes. When he got back, he looked at his babies and wiped his tears. "Your mother may have left again, but I'm still here. I will never leave you," he whispered. Years passed, and Lupita married a wealthy man. She lived in a big house, drove fancy cars, and lived a comfortable life. But throughout all those years, she never once called, visited, or sent a gift to her twin daughters, Kumba and Fatu. For 12 whole years, she ignored them. Meanwhile, Mofi, Mama Saya, and Papa Joe raised the girls with love and care. Mofi worked many jobs to ensure they could go to school and eat good food. Mama Saya taught them how to cook, clean, and pray. The girls grew up with kind hearts. They laughed, played, and helped with chores. One afternoon, something unexpected happened. A big car stopped in front of their small house. Lupita stepped out, looking just as rich and beautiful as ever. Her hair was styled nicely, and she wore shiny shoes. The girls were in the yard, helping Mama Saya peel cassava. When Fatu, the younger twin, saw Lupita, something in her heart jumped. Without thinking, she ran into her mother's arms and hugged her tightly. But Kumba, the older twin, stayed where she was. She didn't smile. She didn't move. Mama Saya gently said, "Kumba, this is your mother. Greet her." Kumba turned her head and said softly but firmly, "No, my real mother is you, Mama Saya. You are the one who stayed. You are the one who fed us, held us when we cried, and never left." Lupita looked shocked, opening her mouth to speak, but no words came out. She stayed for a little while, held Fatu again, and then walked slowly back to her car. That was the last time they saw her. Lupita never called again. She didn't send a letter. She never asked how her daughters were doing. Mofi watched from the doorway, holding back tears. But when he looked at Kumba and Fatu, he smiled. They had grown into strong, beautiful girls. And even without their mother, they were deeply loved. Despite the advice from many, telling Mofi to remarry, he always gave the same answer. "No, I cannot remarry now. The twins are still too young. Another woman may not love them like I do. She might treat them badly. My girls and I have already suffered too much. I don't want to bring more problems to them." Mofi's heart was still full of love for Lupita, even though she left them. He wished she had stayed. He wished his daughters had a mother to care for them, but she was gone. He had to stay strong for them. Many years went by. Mofi worked hard and finally got a good job in Nigeria, a new beginning. He was happy to earn better money to care for Kumba and Fatu. So Mofi took his daughters with him to Nigeria. They lived in a cozy rented house in a busy town. Every day, Mofi woke up early, made breakfast, helped the girls get ready for school, and then went to work. In the evenings, he came back tired, but still managed to help them with homework and tell them bedtime stories. Life in Nigeria was not easy. There was no family nearby, no grandmother like Mama Sai, and no one to help. Mofi did everything alone. Sometimes the girls missed having a mother so much that it hurt. On special days like school events, Parents' Day, or Mother's Day, they felt empty inside. They would see their classmates running to hug their mothers, laughing, holding hands, and taking pictures. But they had no one. Mofi could only stand at a distance, feeling helpless. There were times when the pain became too much. So, the girls started doing something strange. On those special days, they would give a little money to a kind-looking woman at the event and whisper, "Please, can you pretend to be our mother today?" The woman would smile, take pictures with them, and stand beside them during the event. From a distance, it looked like everything was fine, but deep inside, Kumba and Fatu were hurting. At night, after the event was over, they would go home and cry silently in their room. They didn't want their father to hear. They didn't want to make him. Mofi knew, though. He saw the pain in their eyes. Each time, he would sit outside alone, looking at the stars, praying for strength and wishing things had been different. One evening, many years later, Kumba and Fatu sat their father down in the living room. Now grown, beautiful, smart, and strong young women, they looked at their father with love in their eyes. They said, "Daddy, we want to talk to you." Mofi smiled and said, "I'm listening, my daughters." Fatu spoke first. "Daddy, we know you've done everything for us. You raised us alone. You gave us love, food, school, and everything we needed. But we see that you are lonely." Kumba added, "You never remarried because of us. But now we're big girls. We can take care of ourselves. You don't have to worry anymore." They both held his hands and said, "Please find someone to make you happy. We will support you. Even if she has children of her own or brings new people into our lives, we'll handle it. We're ready." Mofi felt tears fill his eyes. For years, he had pushed away the idea of finding love again. But now hearing those words from his daughters gave him courage. After some time, Mofi met a kind Yoruba woman